Happy Monday, everyone. Welcome to Ed Talk TV, Conversations Worth Having. I'm your host, Ed Troxel, and I help you in your business as well as in tech, because I know tech is a struggle. That struggle is for real, right? So if you're first time tuning in, feel free to pop into the comments. Even if you're watching the replay, I get a lot of replay viewers, so it's okay. Jump into the comments, say hello, let me know you're catching the replay. If you can, go a little bit further and tell me who you are and what you do, just so that way we get to know each other. I'm going to do you a favor, and I'm going to put in my landing page here called checkwithed.com. That is a spot where you can go later, not now, to find out more about me, where you can learn to work with me. You can find free resources. You can even become a part of my community. That's right, Hey Ed Community. Awesome resource for you that is great for tech support and business support, and it's huge. It's just so much fun in there. Prices are going up in June, so you want to get in there quick. And if we're connected already on here, you might as well join my email list. That's free to do, so don't forget to do that later. So today, we're going to talk about how to choose where you invest your money, meaning who do you invest your money with when you're looking to grow, both you personally and professionally in your business. So we're going to get into that. But first, we like to go over some random news, and today I have a couple things in random news, and then we'll dive into the content. So be sure to comment, and then also, if you like, you can share this out, but commenting is huge. Let me know who is here. I'm just going to make sure I broadcast through my computer for those who are new, and I always like to have my other device, which is my phone, close by, so then that way I can see. And there's actually a delay, which is interesting, on Facebook. So it's always nice to have another one. So what's happening, Paula? Hey, Erica. I see you guys jumping in here. Awesome. Love it. Happy Monday to you as well. I love that. And when you guys join live, I can actually put your comments on the screen, which is awesome. So we're going to jump into random news, and we're going to get real personal today. I mean, real personal. I don't know what this is going to say about me, so just bear with me, okay? But before I get there, we're going to cover something else. So let me go ahead and share my screen. This is interesting. I want to know what your guys' thoughts are if Facebook adds this feature. So let me go ahead and share my screen. What do you think about Facebook adding the option to upvote or downvote a comment on Facebook? Meaning, you post just like normal. It could be just text, it could be photo, it could be video, whatever. But in the comments, there would be an option to upvote, meaning that it's helpful, or downvote the comments. What do you think about that? Even if you're watching the replay, let me know. Is that a feature that you would like to see on Facebook? Do you think it would be beneficial, especially when you are asking a question to your audience? I will tell you, for me, I'm liking the idea, especially because I come from a resource perspective. So being able to ask questions, like for instance, right now I am checking, and you guys can tell me if you like, even if you're watching the replay, but right now I am playing with the idea of adding in website maintenance, adding some packages around that, meaning if you want me to update your blog for you, you provide the content, and then I go in and I do the actual work. So then you don't have to worry about going behind the scenes as much, and you don't have to worry about dealing with that. So I did a little poll on Instagram in my stories. I did a little poll on Facebook in my stories. So of course you can tell me here, even if you're watching the replay, if that's of interest. But something like posting that on Facebook and then having in the comments people upvote or downvote their comments might be cool. You know, if somebody was like, yes, please, Ed, I need that service. I want to hire you for that. And then everyone else is like, yeah. So they hit the upvote so that it gets up there. Or if you ask a question, you provide an answer, and it's super helpful, people upvote that. So then it gets higher up. So then that way you don't have to worry about going through, hundreds of comments trying to find the right answer. So it's interesting. Erica says, interesting. What does that even do? Would it boost your comments to the top or something? Yes, Great question, Erica. So Reddit is a website that's a popular website, and they use the upvoting system there. You might find the upvote system in a lot of places like support forums and things like that. I want to say Google does it. I can't remember, but there's a lot of places that will have the upvote system. So then that way, because you get hundreds, and if you're on these big platforms, you get thousands of answers. No one's going to sit there and scroll through all of those answers to find the one that's helpful. So sometimes they'll have a spot that says most helpful answer, and it's at the top. And then if you scroll down, you'll see all the other comments. So that's kind of what they're doing here in testing that out. So it's not out for everyone. It's just a small beta test that they're doing to see if people like it and what their thoughts are on that. So there's that. Like I said, I think that it can be very helpful, especially with Facebook Lives and how commenting. I mean, you can see here on the comments how crazy we can get, which is awesome. Hey, Mickey, you're just in time for random news. I wanted to start with this one first because I knew you'd like this other one. So it really comes down to, being able to think of the different ways that you can get those really good comments to the top so people don't miss out on them. I will tell you from my engagement standpoint, remember, show up, deliver, and engage, the most important part. I will tell you that I appreciate the fact that they're finally coming back to the basics and trying to help that engagement part and trying to get that movement going. It makes me happy. Now here's the personal part. So Mickey, you're just in time. We're going to go over something here in random news that's going to help you, but it's also going to be telling you a little bit about me. And again, I don't know how good or bad this is going to be. It's just my thing, but we're going to get real personal here. So bear with me. But I thought this was fun to do with you guys, just to show you, because this is kind of how my brain works. And maybe you guys do this too, or maybe you will start doing this when you buy products. You will see that by the way, I left this in the package. I left it in the package because I didn't want to open these yet. Thankfully, I had enough. But I didn't want to open these because I wanted to show you what I did to the packaging. So, again, real personal here. So I bought this thing of AngelSoft. Now, I am not an affiliate for AngelSoft. I'm not saying go out and buy them. If you don't know what they are, toilet paper, who can resist that, right? So, what I want you to pay attention to, though, is what I did to the packaging, because this is something that's fun to do when you see marketing signs all over the place. So, it dawned on me when I was actually reading the back, which I never read the back of the box. Like, let's be real. You just buy what's on sale and you just run with it for the most part. So on the back here, it says an ideal balance of softness and strength. So I changed it to an ideal balance of business and tech support, street smarts and professionalism. So I kind of played with the words there because, you never know if you're going to need it for your marketing or not. So I thought that'd be fun. So for me, I took two different sentences there. I feel like I had like hair right there. I took two different sentences and just kind of played with words that I use. So again, an ideal balance of business and tech support. Boom. Is that enough for people to know what I do? Is that enough to intrigue them? Maybe, maybe not. Okay, so what else comes to mind? An ideal balance of street smarts and professionalism. Because let's face it, you never know what you're going to get with me, and I'm not going to always be, with the suit and tie and make sure my English is proper and all. No. No. I'm going to tell you what's up. If you need to do this, great. If I'll even use the word ghetto sometimes. I'll use, whatever to make that work. That was the only main or word that came to mind for that. That would be I don't know, different from me or whatever. But yeah, it's a great idea, right, Mickey? It's stuff that you buy every day, you guys. You buy products every day, and you probably don't look at the marketing on the back. The front, well, you could do it on the front too because it does say it on the front. But, you're looking at the brand name, and that's pretty much it. And then maybe the 60% more. That's it. 12 double rolls, which equals 24 regular rolls. Like, cool. Like, you're getting things, right? But when you look at the actual marketing message and you go a little deeper, then that's when you can start just getting some ideas and being creative. See, this is the kind of stuff that we talk about in Hey Ed community. So definitely check it out if you're interested. Like I said, it's a great place for you to ask questions and to learn things like that inside of there. Plus, Hey Ed members get discounts on other things that I offer, so there's that too. Erica says, "Ghetto fabulous," something friends used to say. Yeah, there you go. It's just things like that you want to check out. Here's another example. So obviously, I love going to the gym. And, well, I don't know if it's so obvious, but I talk about it a lot, so hopefully it's obvious. And I really like the marketing that they do all over the time, all of the time. So what I did was I got a pamphlet that says, "Find Your Strength free event," and this was for 24. So what did I do? Find your answers. Sorry, I messed that up because I was trying to make sure. I said, instead of find your strength, I said, find your answers. Hey Ed community. So then it's like just straightforward, simple. It's just me filling in the blanks, me making those small tweaks to make it work for what I'm doing. See what I'm putting down? I see you're picking it up, even replay viewers. Let me know in the comments and be sure to tag a friend. But that's the kind of thing that I want you to start paying attention to, is being able to go one step further when you're buying your products, when you're looking at products. Like, what is their messaging? What's catching your attention? And what can you do with that? I didn't try doing anything on the other side, but I do like that because it simplifies things. Because, hello, it's right there in your face, right? Hey, Mindy, welcome. So it's right there in your face, and you're able to get through to that. Mindy, you missed it probably, but real quick, I took my Angel Soft and I just made the differences here from the ideal balance of strength. From the ideal balance of softness and strength, I changed it to business and tech support, or street smarts and professionalism. See, this is why you get a whole good mix here. Now, I will tell you too, part of random news here, before we jump into today's content. I was able to meet with a client for lunch today, which was really nice. First time in person. And what was cool is she had said that, right, Mickey? Free marketing advice. This is why we love random news. Exactly. That's why you guys show up and you deliver and you engage here on the show. And some of you guys do that over in the community. And that's the best part. It's one of those things that today I got to meet with a client in person at lunch, which was awesome, and get to know each other a little more and just cover some ground around websites. And actually, she was asking about the Hey Ed community and thinking about joining it and all of that stuff. What was really cool, though, is she started to watch the show last week on Thursday. She checked out the episode for the first time, and this clicked for her. The show up, deliver, and engage. And she shared the example with me, which this is my favorite part, when you guys share the results, the examples, all of that. That's like my favorite part of all of this. She was saying how just watching that one episode totally clicked for her and made it work, in the sense that she goes to the gym and she sees the same people all the time in the classes, right? But no one's talking. Nobody's engaging with each other. So she started to go to her classes this past weekend and talk to people. So she's been showing up. She's been delivering, in the sense, right? Because she's there, maybe connecting a little bit, but she's really started to engage. And she's like, it's changed. Like, I'm meeting new people for the first time, and we're starting to meet each other. Like, really meet each other. So I was just like, this is awesome. Keep talking. This is awesome. I love it. So it really is that simple, but the formula, the steps in between can be complicated. And that's why you have me. And that's why we can work on getting you through all three, because this is the most important part. The first two, though, are a requirement that you have to do before you can get to this stage. So there is a process with that. So let's jump into today's content. Now, today's content, Mickey, you might remember, we kind of talked about this. And if you want to be, if you want to come on, I know this is so last minute, but if you want to come on, I can open up Skype and we can bring you on the show. But you just let me know in the comments. But what I wanted to talk about today is basically how do we choose who to invest our money in, and I say who versus what products, because at the end of the day, we're investing in somebody. Yes, we're trying to buy their product, whether it's a course, a book, a one-on-one session, which would be services, or be a part of a community, or whatever it may be. Like, yes, that's what we're getting, but we're still investing in that person and what they bring to the table, because that once you remove them, then you have to remove everything else, because everything else pretty much falls apart. So it's really thinking about how do we invest our money and who do we invest it with. So let me know in the comments, even if you're watching the replay, like, what are some things that you've invested your money in? Meaning, has it been a course? Has it been a membership community? Has it been in somebody's services? And let me know, and you don't have to say names, but just let me know how it made you feel. We're going to go through some things here in a second. Erica's all, yes, Mickey, jump on there. But just wanted to put that out there. And she says yes to all. Yep. I'll put that on the screen there. So it's something that we kind of talked about. And the reason I bring this up is because a lot of us are trying to figure out, well, let's just be real. A lot of us are on a tight budget, right? We're always conscious of, okay, but I have a tight budget / no budget, and I need to make sure that I'm making the most use of my time and the money. But I also need to make sure I move forward, but sometimes I can't move forward because I can't make that purchase, or I don't want to make that purchase. And so we have to really think, okay, where do we say, okay, let's try this, let's do it. A couple things that come up and come to mind are really starting with, well, who are you following? Like, who is it that you're following? Obviously, if you're watching me right now, you're following me, whether this is your first episode or, your 86th episode or somewhere in between, you're following me. So there's one. Who else are you following? And you can name some people in the comments if you want. Feel free to share. Let's keep it positive, but feel free to share as much as you want in the comments there. But it's one of those things like, who are you following? And what kind of message are they sending? Is that a message that you relate to? Do you feel comfortable with that? Is it something that you can keep with you even when you leave, meaning leave the broadcast? Paula says, yes, but struggle to find the right fit for me and my business. Nice. Okay, see, that's what I'm talking about, because that struggle is real. If figuring out who you fit with. So hopefully this episode will help a little bit in at least getting you to have, not just Paula, but anybody. Hopefully this episode will help you have a different perspective and maybe like see things that maybe you didn't see before. So when it comes to the people that you follow, and this could be an exercise, you guys, as Whitney would say, homework, right? You can do this as an exercise, is who are you following? Write them all down. And then do process of elimination. What do you feel? Like, I always go back to, what do you feel? Like, how do they make you feel? Because if you don't feel comfortable around them, then they may have the best content, but if you don't feel comfortable around them, then you're probably not going to buy from them. It doesn't matter what they offer, right? Or how good the content is. If you're not comfortable, chances are you're not going to buy from them. And it's part of that know, like, trust factor, right? You have to get to know someone first, then you have to like what they're doing, not only what they're putting out there in terms of products and services, but what else are they doing? That's why on Friday when I was speaking to the local high school, there was seniors there. There was actually, I think, not just seniors in there. There was a mix of grade levels as well as teachers and faculty members, not only from the high school locally, but people as far away as like Oakland and Napa, who had come to this event. It was a career day event type thing for. It was called Creative Minds, and they had me speak on the main stage about social media marketing, and we talked about how really you have, even if you have a personal Facebook account or a personal Instagram, and then you have your business accounts, there's really no separation. Let's be honest. So if you're posting all these beautiful, awesome posts on the business account, but then if somebody sees your personal, I want to say Facebook, but somebody sees your personal and you're there with like bottles of vodka at the Saturday night, tearing up at the club and like throwing up in the sink of the bathroom, not a good look, right? Even though it's on your personal account, and yes, even though you can still have your fun, you don't need to be documenting that part and you don't need to be posting it. Because remember, what we post, even if we change the settings, privacy settings, what we post, once we post it, it's out there. Somebody's going to screenshot it, somebody's going to screen record it, somebody's going to see it, and it's out. Doesn't matter if it was on your business account, I was going to say your birthday, that too, but it doesn't matter if it's on your business account or your personal account. Let me see, Erica says, yes, we discussed this a little before, but I left a community not long ago because the engagement was low. See, that's a big one, by the way. How many of you guys, even watching the replay, how many of you can agree that it doesn't matter if you're paying for the community or if it's free, when the engagement is low in the community, deuces, you're out. Can you agree or disagree on that? And if you disagree, that's fine. Let me know the reason why you might not have left yet. Because engagement is huge, you guys. It's huge. And I will tell you this, but people in my community will tell you as well. It's a huge thing, and we are really engaged in there. So Erica says, I tried to justify the low monthly fee for months, but I didn't really connect with many, just 1 to 2 people. See, exactly. Mickey says, just left a free community for the same reason. So, oh, perfect. You guys are awesome. Awesome. And I can bring either one of you or both of you on, by the way, if either of you guys want to come on for this to talk, just let me know and I can open up Skype. But that's what I'm talking about, you guys. So even if you're listening to this episode right now and you can't see the comment on the screen, that's okay. Understand that we have Erica talking about a paid and we have Mickey talking about a free, and both have left communities because of the low engagement. And that is key. It doesn't matter who you are, what you offer, it's how engaged is the community. There's this quote I have from Josh Stanton, who is awesome, and his quote is, people come for the content and stay for the community. If you don't have that community, which is engagement, they're not going to stay. It doesn't matter how good they are. Hey, Bernadette, great to see you. Great topic. I love to support people, but I've wasted a lot of money online. Yeah, and it comes down to, that's always the question, and that's always the hard part is, where do you put your money? Because, let's face it, we've all run into that, where we've wasted a lot of money on other people, which includes products and services, because at the end of the day, it's still a person, right? For that. Oh, no worries, Mickey. Talking to my microphone. You're good. Drive safe, though. So Mindy says, too much engagement is hard, too. That is true, Mindy. That is very true. If there are too many posts to keep up with, I find it hard to connect. Yes, and that is always, I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's always been a thing on my mind, too. Even before I started the Hey Ed community, I always thought about, and I still do, how do I make sure that it's just the right balance? Because I don't want people to ever feel like they're lost, or it's just overwhelming, because it can be. Bernadette says, and then I've spent a few good dollars. Oh, good. True, Mindy. I like how, Erica says, I like how Nicole manages that, letting just a few posts come in at a time. Yeah, and for those who don't know, when you have a Facebook group, you can turn on where you have to approve posts, which that can be a way that you kind of control that too. And so when you think about it, it's one of those things that I'll tell you even from previous experience when it comes to the web design business. So, and you guys know where I'm probably going with this, and you can probably relate. When I got into the web design business, I got into it not because I'm a coder and I could just build any website I want. No, I got into it because I felt like I needed to save people because too many people were getting screwed over by others in the business at the time before I started, where they would pay thousands of dollars for a website and they either didn't get the website on time, and of course, who knows what the conversation was between the client and the designer. But at the end of the day, the big picture was things weren't delivered on time, communication was not there, and they spent a lot of money for not being happy with what they got. And so that happens a lot. I had, before I went full time with my business, I had a client when I was working part-time jobs. I had an actual client who I almost got into a 6-month contract with somebody because they were a good sweet talker. And it was going to be a lot of money for some of the same work that I provided. So it's crazy because it just depends on who you meet and what those sweet words are, and it can easily rope us no matter who you are. And so then once we get burned, we lose that trust factor, right? So then when you see somebody else come up, and I've had this with clients before, and I told them, I'll use one example. I won't use names, but I'll use one example where I had somebody that was like, listen, Ed, I really want to work with you. I really want you to help me with my website and build it for me. But I got to tell you, I got to be honest. I've been burned before, so I need to feel more comfortable before I can do this. And I was like, I'm right there with you. I don't want you to invest in me if it doesn't feel right. I don't want you going into something without feeling like this is a good decision. And so we talked about it. Hey, Anna, long time. Nice to see you. So we talked about it. A few email exchanges back and forth before finally getting into a contract to help fix up the website and build some things. So I get it. And I did this even when I was at Apple, you guys, not for business, but like people would come in. I still remember this one example. Somebody bought a Chrome notebook. Not bad, but they bought a Chromebook notebook because it was cheaper than buying a laptop at Apple. Totally understandable. Got it. However, that laptop couldn't do what they wanted it to do. So then they had to come into Apple, where they're already upset because they spent money. Doesn't matter how much. They spent money. They got something, and for whatever reason, they couldn't return it because it was at Best Buy or something. I don't know. And now they're upset because now they got to throw down more money, even though it's a better product, and they'll get more done. They're still upset because they had to go through those challenges, through that struggle. And so then I have to come in and like fix things and say, I totally get it. Like, I know. And it sucks that nobody was able to explain before you bought the first one, XYZ, or maybe it just didn't connect, So it's one of those things that you want to make sure you take time with the people that are wanting to invest in you or that you're wanting to invest with, and really see, is there that connection? Are you following them? Are they delivering content that's helping you? I'm just looking down at my notes. Also, Mickey brought this up in our conversation before. Where do you spend the most time? So where are you spending the most time for your learning and what you want to do? Because that's a good indicator too. It ties into who you're following. But what are you spending your time on? What things are you noticing that you're picking up? And I think it was Mickey who had said this, and I'm sure it's okay to say this, where, the reason why she invested in the Hey Ed community was because she has been showing up here and knows what I deliver here as well as elsewhere, and was like, well, I know it can only get better from here, so why not? It's one of those things that you have to figure out where you need to go and who's in that corner, if that makes sense. It's utilizing your tools and resources, both free and paid. That's what it's always about. And of course, you always have the Are you trading time or money? Those are the two options that you have to look at and figuring out like where you're going to go from there. But what it also comes down to is how do you feel around that person, around that community? When it comes to communities too, both free and paid, you really have to know, do you feel comfortable enough to ask a question? Do you feel comfortable enough to participate in the discussions? It's just like if you were in a regular classroom or even at the 9 to 5 sometimes in a meeting. Do you feel comfortable enough to suggest something? Do you feel comfortable enough to raise your hand and say something during that meeting? Because if you don't, then there's something else going on. It's either the people you are around that you're not comfortable. It's either the topic, or you're just not giving yourself enough credit. Like whatever it is, there's something that's holding you back. And so you kind of have to pause for a minute and ask yourself, okay, what is going on here? What's the situation? Is it me just not feeling confident in my answer? Is it me feeling like I'm going to be judged? Is it because, Ted from 2 cubicles over is always commenting on things that I do? I don't know. I don't even know how many people still have cubicles, but, it's those types of things that you want to listen to and pay attention to and know. Like that's what's going to help you decide where to invest your money, whether you're working a 9 to 5 or you're a full-time entrepreneur. You have options, and those options are going to come to you once you start looking at what is it that you're doing and what is it that you need to do and who is around you and where are you spending the most time and how do you feel about that. Woo! Got to take a drink for all those popping on. So that's what I want you to think about when you're planning on purchasing something. And now I say purchase because, and this kind of goes back to my sales days too, is a purchase means even free. In my opinion here. Now, yes, most of us think of purchasing as exchanging money, but I'm going to say even with free stuff because you're still getting something. Even if you just drop your email address, you're still getting something in exchange. So it's still a purchase. It's just you're not putting a number on it, a dollar amount. And so even with your free stuff, you still want to be respectful of your time, especially when it comes to email newsletters. We're kind of shifting a little bit there, but when it comes to the email newsletters, yes, sign up for whatever works for you and what you need, but also pay attention to what you don't need and start unsubscribing from those. And don't feel bad unsubscribing. If it's something that you're not into anymore or you don't need anymore, bye. Like it served its purpose. Same thing with communities. When you're in a community, there's a purpose usually of why you join a community, even if it's a free Facebook group. That's why with Facebook groups, especially some big free ones, there are sometimes I will be honest, and you guys have heard me say this before, there are too many rules. There are too many rules for me, at least. Like I know what the purpose is for me, and I know my intentions are good, and I realize not everyone else is like that. But when you start adding all of these rules, and when you start, requiring that people show up and that they, do certain things, I mean, everyone's group is going to be different, and it depends on the intent of that group. But overall, I've heard at times people say, well, if you want to be in this group, you have to do X, Y, Z, and do this and that. And again, it's case by case. But sometimes that's just too much, especially if it's a free group. I'm like, why? If it's like, let's just say, for example, piano lessons. Let's say there's a Facebook group for piano lessons, and your piano lessons are once a week. You may only show up in that group once a week to find out some resources. You might only show up in that group once a month, depending on your schedule. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, those are the types of things that you got to look at, and are you getting value from that? If not, then maybe you should find something else and leave it, even if it's a free group. If it's not providing you with the tools and resources you need, then you don't need it, and just keep moving on. And that's for anything. That's anyone and anything. I'm just going to double check here to make sure we're still live, because sometimes this part looks a little funny. Okay, cool. We are. Cool. Okay. So, it's just those types of things that I want you to start thinking about and understanding. Again, who are you following? Who are you investing your time with? How do you feel about that? And what kind of content? Like I said, Josh Stanton had the quote, people come for the content and stay for the community. And it's huge. And that goes back to that engagement part right there. But you have to do the first two things first before you can get there. And engagement is huge, even in real life. Like I shared with you from today's client lunch, having that engagement in real life at the gym has now opened up new relationships, which then will lead to other things. And then that's how you stay in your circle. That's why you guys are here, because you engage and you're showing up both here live sometimes. If you guys want to be a guest, go to checkwithed.com and you'll see there's a guest request form if you go to the shows area. But you also engage in the comments, and that's going to help not only with me, but that helps you guys show up and get connected with new people. Also, you get found in Google search results too. So we talk about that a lot as well. So that's really what I had for you guys today. We might be ending early today, which is fine. We don't have to go for an hour. I just have that time slot there. So if you guys have any questions about that, cool, let me know. For those who tuned in a little late, I'll just do a quick recap. We showed off the AngelSoft, and not because I'm an affiliate for them, but because of what you can do with packaging. You can do different marketing exercises. For instance, this says an ideal balance of softness and strength. I crossed it out and I said an ideal balance of business and tech support. So it's just little tweaks that you can make to marketing messages you see every day, and being able to take that and run with it to help you in your marketing messages. Another one I shared was find your strengths, and I put find your answers. Hey Ed Community. It's just playing around with those to see what might work, what might click for you, because sometimes we just need that little inspiration to just run with. So there's that. Let me just double check real quick to make sure no other comments came in. And I think we're going to end here, which is good because I need to go edit some videos for you guys. So awesome. Well, I hope you guys are having a fantastic Monday, and we'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow might be a couple minutes late. We'll see. We'll have a guest tomorrow. Yeah, I hope you guys are having a great evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you're at. And I'm going to leave you guys with this. Have a good night.